Yo, Big C in the house. You know the name. Finn Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami Heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squash the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Finn Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Finn Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. Defense smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess. What's happening next? You got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is
What up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this lovely Thursday morning? Good morning. More NFL football tonight. Thursday night football. I believe it's the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. That should be a real barn burner, right? Cincinnati, just a complete disaster, trading for Joe Flacco, which makes zero sense to me. Joe Flacco is absolute statue. I wish he was starting for the Cleveland Browns this week because I think we'd have a much easier time getting after the quarterback. Listen, this guy just survives, right? Like how is Joe Flacco still in the league? It makes no sense to me. He's absolute garbage. But, hey, it is what it is. What up, Cuzzo? What up, Dean, Miller, Bonnie? Good morning. Make sure you hit those like buttons for me. I do a lot of singing on here for some reason. I can't sing worth shit. I can't sing worth a damn, but for some reason I find myself belting out tunes all the time. So we have the Cleveland Browns this weekend, but first and foremost, Tua had a press conference yesterday to address his prior press conference where he called out the teammates. He called out the leaders of this team for showing up late into team-led meetings, player-only meetings, which player-only meetings that coaches are showing out for. The whole situation's weird to me, but he's calling out people. And obviously the whole NFL world exploded over it because that's something you don't do, right? That's something you do not do is you do not talk about locker room stuff with the media. That's a locker room issue. If you have an issue with the locker room, you address the locker room. You don't put it in the hands of the media for them to dissect and for them to interrogate and for them to tear apart. And it's something you just don't do. It's improper locker room etiquette. Tua knows this, though. Tua knows this. I don't know what he was thinking doing this. And again, I support Tua more than I probably should have. And but Tua knew he was wrong for doing this. Not to mention, it's a very poor look for you to sit there and place the amount of blame that you try to deflect the blame from yourself and don't acknowledge how poorly you've played this year. Now, do I think Tua is the number one reason that the Miami Dolphins are struggling this year? No. But is he part of the problem? Yes. In my opinion, I've said it numerous times on this program, I feel like Tua's regressed. A lot of the pass plays that we've become accustomed to Tua making on a regular basis, these are passes that he's missing lots of times. He's sailing the ball. There's a couple instances where we had an opportunity late in games, and if Tua makes a pass that we've watched Tua make a million times, we're still in them games. But a couple times this year, he's sailed those balls, and it's cost us an opportunity at wins. Mike Jones says, or you name names if you're going to say something at all. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to call someone out, you might as well call them out. You know what I mean? Really put a stamp on it. You know what I mean? Dean says, if Wallow goes to Giants with Dart and Scadaboo, I'm definitely 100% a Giants fan. That'd be a nice little setup right there, especially when you get their top receiver back next year. I'm having a brain fart right now. What up, Pete? What up, Raphael? Mr. Bull, what's up? Make sure you hit them like buttons for me, and not enough people are hitting the like buttons. Again, if you don't like the program, by all means, don't hit the like button. I don't want fake likes. But if you like the program, if you like coming in here and discussing Dolphins football or NFL football with me, please hit the like button. Help support the channel. I'm going to throw the link out there. So if anybody's got some comments on Tua's press conference, by all means, I want to hear from you. Let's paste it and we will send it on out there. I appreciate that, Mr. Bull. Really do. Come on up, Pete. Let's hear what you got to say. But anyway, Tua apologizes. Tua, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did it. I think his teammates, he said the teammates are understanding because he knows there was no malice behind it. But I mean, was the damage done? Has the damage already been done? Pete, what do you think? Has the damage already been done? Has Tua damaged his reputation in the locker room?
Big C, good morning, my guy. Thank you for having me up, dude.
Yeah, no problem, brother.
You said, I was putting my headphone on. You said, is the damage already done?
Yeah, has the damage been done?
We spoke about it. We already spoke about it over a month ago, how Tua Ben lost respect. It's just now blowing up. He lost respect a long time ago when he threw Tyreek Hill under the bus. Yeah. When he threw Tyreek Hill under the bus, he basically also, like I said, he threw Mike McDaniel under the bus with that. Mike McDaniel was trying to mend relationships with Tyreek Hill and Chris Greer after the Week 18 fallout. And you're going to burn Tyreek Hill out of here like that to try to get him out? Tua knows he's been done. He's been done. This is nothing new. It's just blowing up now. But guess what, Big C? I woke up today. I saw the forecast for Sunday's game. Have you checked it out by any chance?
I haven't.
Oh, my God. I can't wait till you lay your eyes on that Sunday forecast in Cleveland. Let me just give you a snippet of what's to come. Heavy rain, wind gust of up to 35 to 65 miles per hour winds. Minimum 35 up to 65 mile per hour winds. It's Zach Wilson time in Miami, dude. Tua is not going to get a ball off in that condition.
Well, I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to throw in 35 to that's extreme conditions. That's almost like that Patriots Bills game from a few years ago where there was maybe what was there like 5-6 total pass plays in the whole game. You remember that game?
Yep, I sure do. Mac Jones played that game, right?
What's that?
That was a Mac Jones game. He won that
I'm
game,
not,
I think. I think it was a Mac Jones game that
yeah,
he
yeah,
won.
yep, it was. It was.
I don't know how Cleveland is. The only way Cleveland is going to move the ball on us is with that dude Junkins and that other running back Ford. Dylan
Well, right
Gabriel?
there, that's the issue, right? That's the issue. If we're not able to throw the ball, that hurts us. That hurts us more than Cleveland, I think, because the amount of rushing yards that we're giving up right now, and we're 32nd in the league. We're dead last, giving up 168.5 yards a game on the ground. Quentin Junkins looks like he's the real deal. You got Cleveland's defense, who is one of the top ranked defenses in all of football. This is definitely, if those weather conditions hold true, that is definitely we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Absolute trouble.
You're absolutely right. They have the better defense. They have the better run game. For those conditions, Cleveland should blow us out. We're not going to be able to keep up with them.
And Bonnie says Tua truly can't win. If he hadn't apologized, he gets crucified. And now he gets crucified for apologizing. He's not the first player to say something stupid. You're absolutely right, Bonnie. You know, he's not the first player. And listen, I'm not crucifying the guy for he made a mistake. I think Tua needs to think a lot more before he says. I think Tua is too used to just saying what's on his mind, and that's not real life. Everybody in this world has to be held accountable for the things that come out of their mouth. If I were to go on some kind of, let's just say, a racist, rampage on here, you know what I mean? People wouldn't necessarily forgive that, you know what I mean? And even if it wasn't my true feelings or how what if I was just upset about a certain situation or something? People aren't going to forgive that necessarily. And I'm not saying that Tua's comments were on the same level as someone going off and being a racist on YouTube or on any other social media thing. But, you got to be held accountable. I just think Tua's in a bad spot. His play is fell off. And this isn't the first time that he's called out players on his team, like Pete said. He did the same thing to Tyreek, you know what I mean? And I just don't think that's the right way to go about business.
You heard what Malik Washington said about the situation yesterday?
I didn't.
The man pretty much admitted to us that the locker room is split, even though Tua apologized.
See, I mean,
go back and hear it. I forgot how to quote it, but he pretty much said, guys in the locker room are taking it. They could take it how they want to take it. Some like it, some don't. That's something like in that nature. And he pretty much laid it out that some guys are not okay with what Tua said, and it's a split locker room. And I'm happy it's happening, man. I just don't want the losses to continue to stack. I want the quarterback change. I don't want nobody traded. Let's just do what we need to do and just get Zach Wilson on the field already. Get this guy hit the bench. I'm tired of Tua, man. I've been tired of Tua.
I feel you on the. I feel you.
Like Tua has been a punishment to me as a fan all 6 years. That's the thing. I never liked this guy. From the very beginning, I saw his little snarkling fakeness. I saw it. He never fooled me once.
Pete, like I understand your frustration. You know what I mean? Like I've tried to support Tua, and do I think Tua can win games in the NFL? I do. I think Tua has gotten a raw deal in some aspects. Our offensive line has been absolutely horrible most of the years he's been here. Minus 2023, the offensive line has not been good. Can you admit that, Pete?
See, I mean, I'm not gonna admit that because our offensive line is TBD. It is to be determined with a new quarterback. I know what I'm telling you. It is hard to
Uh,
evaluate our players on that offensive line with this scheme. Now, let me ask you a question, since you asked me one, right?
yeah.
What does Tua do better that other quarterbacks have a hard time doing? Like, what does Tua do so great other quarterbacks can't?
Well, I think he has elite uh anticipation with the football. I think he's very accurate up into a certain amount of yardage. And I think he anticipates where the ball needs to go better than a lot of quarterbacks do in the league. But I don't listen. You know football,
And I
Pete.
respect
Like,
your opinion. And I respect your opinion. I just asked that. I pretty much
I
asked that,
respect yours too.
but I pretty much asked that to say this. Forget about his skill set, right? If your opinion is right and my opinion is wrong, it is what it is, right? Let's say he does have what you just said. I still find it hard to win based off how he is as a person, bro. How he is as a leader in that locker room. He doesn't give a vibe out that wants to go out and fight for him. He doesn't give that. You don't want to fight for him. You just want to do your job and go home, it feels like. And that sucks, man. But
And
I am
listen,
pulling up to work right now, Big C. I'm going to be listening. Appreciate you having me up.
I appreciate you too. And I get what Pete's saying. You know what I mean? Because there's times that Tua's rubbed me wrong too, sitting on the sidelines, smirking after an interception, the sunglasses and stuff, acting disinterested in the game last year. Tua has rubbed me the wrong way in a lot of ways, but we cannot ignore, and we can't say if another quarterback was back there, the offensive line is automatically going to block players. That's not realistic. This offensive line has been bad every year except 2023. And in 2023, we had a really good offensive line. Connor Williams, Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Austin Jackson, and I'm missing something. Robert Hunt. We were rolling. Number one offense in all of football. Scored 70 against a good Denver defense. Listen, after that, we were absolutely trash. And yeah, I know we fell apart at the end of the 2023 season. But go back and look. That offensive line was in shambles by the end of the year. I think that offensive line, everybody on that offensive line missed at least a total of 5 games apiece. 5 games apiece. Other than that, we've had holes all on this offensive line. We haven't been able to run the ball consistently, which Tua needs that. Tua's not one of these top flight quarterbacks. We can't put him on the same level as Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. He needs more to win than they do. And we've concentrated on what weapons we've given Tua. Yeah, we've given him Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill and Devon Achane and, you know, Jonnu Smith. But that's not what Tua needs. Tua needs a good run game and a strong offensive line. We've seen Tua produce with random ass players. Devontae Parker, who we all can admit was a letdown. Hey, Devontae Parker made some great plays while he was here, but Devontae Parker was an absolute bust for us. He was nowhere near a first round talent. Look at the other guys on that team when Brian Flores was here. Brian Flores is last year here. And Tua made it work. Tua was completing passes. Tua can get the ball into these guys' hands. What Tua needs is a strong offensive line and a good running game where Tua doesn't have to throw the ball 30 times a game. Tua fails under pressure. He does. He does. But to say that another quarterback is going to have more success behind this offensive line, I don't believe that to be true. I don't believe that to be true. Now, again, Tua needs to be replaced. He's shown that he can't get it done with what we currently have. But look at how Justin Herbert has struggled with his 2 tackles out. Tua's done that his whole career, had to deal with that his whole career pretty much. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not crucifying Tua for his comments about the locker room. I think it was wrong, absolutely. But, you stack things on top of each other and eventually it becomes too much, right? Eventually it becomes too much. This isn't the first instance that Tua's put his foot in his mouth. Yeah, you throw the bad play on, you throw in you can't win in cold weather. You throw that in that you can't win in clutch moments, that you can't beat elite teams, and it just stockpiles and people have had enough. And to be honest, I've had enough. I'm ready for a change. Michael, what's up? Sorry to have you hold up.
It's okay. Hey, I just want to say one thing. Chris Greer, he ruined his team, bro. He ruined his team, man. They need to get rid of him. What you got on Ross, man? Ross is a billionaire, man. Get rid of the guy. He's trash, man.
Yeah, I agree. Chris Greer is absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest issue for the Miami Dolphins, in my opinion. Now, others will say it's Stephen Ross. Others will say it's Tua Tagovailoa. Others will say it's Mike McDaniel. And, to each their own. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I just have my feelings, and my feelings are Chris Greer is the one that's been responsible for building this football team. He's been responsible for hiring the head coach. It's on Chris Greer more than anyone. Tua is only going to be as good as Tua can be. Chris Greer is the one that decided to draft an undersized, injury-prone quarterback that was dealing with a career possibility ending injury. Tua had the hip injury, and people didn't know if he was going to be able to play. And he still drafted him at number 5. And that's that. If Tua fails, but that's how I feel about it.
And look at the offense. Look at the offensive line. Look at the offensive lineman he brought in, bro. Daniels hurt, right? Yeah. Eichenberg to over $2 million. The guy won't even see the field this year, man. It's a joke, man. It ain't all Tua's fault. If you don't have time to throw the ball, you're nothing, man.
And it's not all Tua's fault, but we know that quarterbacks are the ones that they take the blame and they also, when teams win, they also get credit for the success. So that's just part of the position.
And they're crazy if they trade Achane, man. That kid's a playmaker, man. They need that kid more than they need anybody on that team. He's the best player on that team.
Let's see. I think there's benefits and there's negatives to trading Achane. Obviously, he's the one that you're probably going to get the most for if you trade him. He's going to want big money coming up next year. Should we pay a undersized running back? I know. Listen, he's been phenomenal for us. He's been phenomenal. But should we pay him? Because we know if one thing, the NFL, the running back position is not highly valued. Running backs, you can sign someone off the street and they can come in and run for 1,000 yards. I just don't know if we should be investing big dollars in an undersized running back, when we're in the middle of a rebuild.
Yeah, I agree.
We're not even in the middle of a rebuild. We haven't even begun the rebuild yet. You know what I mean?
I don't think they could do.
I love the guy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know if we should give him big dollars when this team's not ready to compete.
I don't think they could do a rebuild with Greer.
And if you can't absolutely not. If you do that, we're running in quicksand.
No,
what's up, Glenn?
Hello, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, sir. How are you?
You know what's going to suck? and I see it already happening. Is this team is going to get on a 6-7 game winning streak, and all we don't need to do is end up in the middle of the draft and pretty much stuck where we are now.
You know, Glenn, that's a typical Dolphin thing to do. That's the typical Dolphin thing to do is to finish in the middle of the draft.
We had
I just don't see the wins. I don't see where they're coming from. I don't see where they're coming from at this point. You know, Pete said that the wind's supposed to be 30 to 60 miles per hour, heavy rain in Cleveland. Now, we're about to go. I'm about to go over the matchup with Cleveland here in a second. But you know that defense is tough in Cleveland. You know what I mean? That defense is tough, and they got a good young running back, and we haven't been able to stop the run. We're letting third string running backs run for 150 plus yards on us. So what makes you think? What makes anybody think that we're going to be able to stop the run this week?
I disagree.
Because
I think
even if you run, go on.
Go ahead, Glenn.
What I was saying is, you're right. They get 150 yards running, but it's like one run for 60 yards, another run, and then the other ones are smaller stuff. So the quarterback still has to throw the ball, and Cleveland's quarterback is bad. That is bad.
Well, I mean, Dylan Gabriel, he's got 3 touchdowns, no interceptions so far. I'm not saying he's playing great football by any means. He's a young kid.
He's 50. He's about a 50% hit rate.
Yeah, something like that. 50, 55 or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, from what I've seen, yeah, we give up a big run a game. But I mean, I see them rolling off 7-8 yard runs. That puts them in third and short, second and short, you know what I mean? Short yardage situations.
Third and short.
And that's where and our defense just can't make the stop. Our defense just can't make the stop because our defensive backfield's so bad too.
No, our defense is bad. But the problem is how bad our defense has been. Tell me one thing. Have we been in every game except for the first one?
We have
a chance to win. Have we had a chance to win every game except for the first one?
We have.
So we could easily be 3-2 or whatever, blah blah blah, just as easy as we're 1-5. What I'm saying is, you're right.
We could be 5-1. We could be 5-1 to be honest. I mean,
I'm not saying this team is good enough to do that, but what I'm saying is, I could see because of the way Miami plays. Yes, they give up yards, but they do get scores and stuff, and they don't win a few games that you ain't expecting them to win just because they don't fall that way.
And I get the beginning of the season. Listen, if you change a few plays each game, you're right. We could be sitting at 5-1. But what I do think, and I think people don't take it into account enough, is that after a certain amount of time, you lose hope. There's no hope for playoffs. No. You know what I mean? So these players start.
No. What I'm saying is they don't screw up the draft, and we just don't be stuck with a 13, 14 draft pick again.
That ain't gonna happen.
What's up, Frank? He says no. The 3 players we're not trading is Waddle, Achane, and Chop Robinson. First off, I would absolutely, and thanks for the comment, Frank. Nice to see you in the comments. I would absolutely trade Waddle 100%. Waddle wouldn't be untouchable for me.
I agree.
What's up? Only the real survive.
What's going on? What's going on? I just want to put this sentiment out here. Why is we not holding the same energy for Tua when it comes to these press conference that we're holding for Tyreek with these press conference? Because true enough, they both are veterans.
I mean, it's true. It's true.
You know, like if we go ahead.
They try to protect Tua though. He is the quarterback, so there's definitely a different stigma behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get all of that, but the only way we're gonna hold anything sustainable down if we stand 10 toes on what we do. Like, how we gonna blaspheme Tyreek for his comments when he frustrated after what last year being his first year that he didn't get 1,000 yards, last year being his first year that he didn't see the playoffs, and for saying something like that in his frustration. But then when the quarterback come up and he just frustrated because ain't nobody showing up to meetings because of his lack of leadership, it's okay to let what he say go because of his frustration. Like, to me, that's just abysmal, and that's why we're going to continue to be in the rut the way we is, because we're not supporting shit that is substantial. Tyreek had a real reason to be frustrated. What reason Tua had to be frustrated? Because as we know, Tua went through a 1-7 start with Brian Flores, so he should know how to act accordingly.
Yeah, I think it was a lot about Tua not wanting to take accountability. I mean, if you guys remember when Omar Kelly asked him earlier in the season about him turning the ball over in bunches, and he acted dumbfounded, like, I don't turn the ball over in bunches. Well, yeah, you do. It shows. It shows when you do turn the ball over, you do it in bunches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like Tua has 16 games, 17 games in a season where he's throwing 2 interceptions in a game. But Tua typically has 2 or 3 games in a season where he has 2 or 3 touchdowns in a game or interceptions in a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's just where I'm coming from with it. Like, I know everybody getting up here and they want to say, well, we got to excuse him. He was frustrated. He was this, he was that. And to be honest, the man haven't been consistent for us. But we got a guy that has been consistent throughout his NFL career, and we want to just shit on that. That's the same way we did Brian Flores. We just want to shit on him. But the man got a Super Bowl ring. What Super Bowl winning coach have we had besides Flo?
I mean, I'm not a big Brian Flores guy. I don't respect.
I'm not. I get.
You know what I mean?
Right. I understand where everybody's standing with Flo, but I'm talking about the credentials. That's what I'm talking about. We are not respecting credentials, and that's why we are. It seems like we are.
I disagree with Glenn. We're not going to make no run with this offensive line. If we don't get those other 2 guys back, theoretically, I think we're done, Big C.
I don't think we make a run regardless, just because these players are going to start checking out. They're going to start
without a doubt.
We need to stay the ship. Yeah, we need to stay the ship. Stay the ship. You know what I'm saying? Don't fire nobody this shit. Don't trade nobody this shit. Stay the ship, and at the end of the year, that's when you do your firing and your trading. That way we can get a new regime and everything will be like it should be. We do some trading now. Who's to say Chris Greer won't try to fuck us with because he know he about to lose his job?
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys, I'm going to get into this Browns breakup just so I don't get this false advertising for my YouTube videos. So I appreciate y'all coming on, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Thanks for having me on,
Appreciate
Big
C. Yeah, appreciate it, Big C.
Guys, thank you so much. Listen, I don't think only the real survive. I don't think we're saying we should crucify Tua. I just think that he was saying, and maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to put words into his mouth. I think he's saying is, why is it all right and we're supposed to just be so forgiving of Tua, but everybody wanted to crucify Tyreek? And to be honest, I wasn't one of those people that wanted to crucify Tyreek. I understood that he was frustrated, and I'm not trying to crucify Tua. I'm not trying to crucify Tua. You know, people make mistakes. People are human. He apologized. People should move on, but will they? Will they? That's another story. You know what I mean? That's another story. You know, some people, you offend them and they're not so easily ready to forgive. And I don't know if this whole locker room is going to forgive Tua the way that maybe they should. Do I think they should say screw Tua over these comments? No, I don't think that. And maybe they won't, because I think deep down Tua is a really good guy. And hopefully after being around him for a considerable amount of time, they know this. But you know, these athletes are, they're touchy people. Who is untouchable for me? I would say untouchable, probably Patrick Paul. I mean, at this point, you're not going to get any. You got to say Jonah, Kenneth Grant, just because they're young. I mean, if someone gave us a crazy offer for them, but listen, these are early round picks that I'm not ready to move on for. You're not going to offer me a 6th round pick for a guy that was a 2nd rounder 8 months ago, or a guy that was a 1st rounder 8 months ago, and I'm going to trade them. So those guys are untouchable for me. I would say Chop Robinson probably is the other guy. So probably those 4 are untouchable for me. So you got Achan, or not Achan, sorry. You got Patrick Paul, Jonas Savaianaya, Kenneth Grant, and Chop Robinson are the ones that I would say are untouchable. And only because those guys, I think they got high potential, and I'm not trading them away for a 6th, 7th round pick. There's no way. There's no way. And Glenn, I agree with that. Players shouldn't have to go talk to the media right after a loss. They shouldn't. They should not. 100%. 100%. And maybe Ollie Gordon. But again, Crazy Dolphin, running backs are a dime a dozen in this league. And Greg, I agree. You trade Waddle. You trade Chubb, Phillips, Fitzpatrick. I would trade all those guys. Yeah, they're still on a rookie contract. I still think they got high potential. I'm not moving on from them guys because, any offer we get for those young guys, because they haven't performed to their draft status, nobody's offering us a 2nd round pick for Jonah. And I'm not willing to give up Jonah, who I drafted 8 months ago, for a 5th round pick. No way. No way. Because I think I still think they got high ceilings. If you bring in a new head coach, you have to leave them with some talent to work with, or who is you're going to want the job. I think draft picks are more valuable to a new coach than players already here, because a new coach is going to want to build a team the way they're going to want to build it, Bonnie. So yeah, maybe if we trade Achan for, let's say we could get a 1st round pick for Achan, I think a new coach would much rather have that 1st round pick and be able to pick a running back of their choosing, or a player of their choosing, over having some talent on the team. That's just me. And maybe I'm wrong. Zach Sealer, I would absolutely trade. As long as it financially makes sense. Now, I don't know how many of these financially make sense, right? So let's take a look at these Cleveland Browns. Pete says that it's going to be heavy rain, cold, with wind gusts 25 to 50, 60 miles per hour. That bodes bad for the Miami Dolphins, folks. that is bad news for the Miami Dolphins, because some weeks this running game looks good, like it did last week, and then there's weeks that we run the ball for 15 yards. There's weeks that we run the ball for 15 yards. Now, if teams know that we can't throw the football and they can just dial up and attack that offensive line, we're in big trouble. We're in big trouble, especially against this defensive front of the Cleveland Browns, one of the best defenses in all of football. So let's take a look at how we match up. There I go singing again. Okay. Dolphins offense, we're 18th in the NFL at 22.3 points per game. Cleveland's defense, although they're good in most areas, are giving up 24.2 points per game. Total yardage, we're 26th in the league at 289 yards. The Cleveland Browns are number 3. They're only giving up 262.3 yards per game. Passing, we got 197.7 passing yards a game. They're only giving up 187.2, number 7 in the league. Rushing yards, we're rushing for 91.3 yards a game, good for 27th. They're number 3 with 79.7. They're only giving up a little under 80 yards a game rushing. And turnovers, we've turned the ball over 8 times. They got 4 takeaways. Our defense versus their offense. Cleveland's offense is one of the worst in the league. They're only scoring 13.7 points per game, which is absolutely disgusting. We're giving up 29 points a game. That's number 29th in the league. Total yardage, they're only getting 281.5 yards a game. We're giving up 389.3 yards a game. Passing, they're 26 with 191. We're giving up 220. Rushing, they're only rushing for 90.7 yards a game. We're giving up 168.5. That's horrible. That's dead last in the league. Dead last. Turnovers, they've turned the ball over 8 times. We have 6 takeaways. We got 6 takeaways. Their passing leader is Dylan Gabriel. They made the switch. They were going with Joe Flacco. Now Dylan Gabriel, the rookie out of Oregon. He's an undersized quarterback like Tua, left-handed like Tua. 430 yards passing this year, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, but his QBR is 37.5. His completion rate's right around 55. Well, it's 57.3%. Those aren't good numbers. And this is the guy we got to look out for. Judkins, their rookie running back out of Ohio State. He's got 84 carries, 383 yards, 2 touchdowns, rushing for 4.6 yards a carry. He's been very good. I think he missed the first 2 games of the year, first game of the year. So he's been good for them. Expect them to give us a heavy dose of Judkins. We've given up 168.5 yards a game. They're going to attack us there. And then their number 1 receiving target is their tight end, rookie tight end. They're going with a trio of tight ends. So if this is a week that this defense wants to make some kind of comeback for the Miami Dolphins, this is the week. Their 3 main guys on offense are all rookies. This is where we need to really buckle down and lock these guys down. Frustrate them, confuse them. Do what you got to do to make these rookies really think. Harold Fanning Jr., their rookie tight end out of Bowling Green. He's got 28 catches, 254 yards, and a touchdown, 9.1 yards average. Ford's got 6 carries, 20 yards, 73 yards on the ground. That's their second leading rusher. For receiving for the Cleveland Browns, their second leading receiver is Jerry Jeudy. He's got 20 catches. He's got the most targets, though, with 48. They're just not getting it to him. David Njoku, he's a dangerous tight end. He's got 23 receptions, 223 yards, and a touchdown. Isaiah Bond, really quick, fast wide receiver, 11 catches, 123 yards, 11.2. Watch out for Tillman. He's got 11 catches, but 2 of them are touchdowns. And now we take a look at the strength of this Cleveland Browns team, the defense. Schwarzenegger is a rookie linebacker. He's been very good this year. He's got 52 total tackles and a sack. Delbit, the safety, he's really good. Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome, some very good corners. But the main culprit on this team is Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, you got to pay attention to where he is. He's got 4 sacks this year. He is a beast. You got Collins, who's got 3.5 sacks. We gotta be able to block these guys. Do what you got to do. Chip Myles Garrett. Do not let him get to the quarterback. He is liable to put Tua on injured reserve. This guy is an animal. Myles Garrett is an animal. He will ruin your whole game plan. He will ruin your whole day. He will destroy this Dolphins offensive line. You said you hope the Dolphins enjoy your bye week against the Browns. Listen, man. 66 degree, 90% chance of rain, becoming windy, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Well, 66, not very good. Cold. 66 ain't that cold. He getting hit at some point against that front. Yeah, listen. Quick passes. He better get those passes out quick. All right, let's take a look at our Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa, he's got 1,213 yards passing, 11 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That number's way too high. His QBR is 50.5. He's completing under 70% of his passes. Tua needs to be better. Now, Tua did leave a game, should have been a game-winning drive last week against the Chargers, but he did have 3 interceptions last week, and one of them wasn't his fault. But still, he's turning the ball over too much. He's missing too many wide-open wide receivers. He needs to be better. Devon Achane, he's been fantastic for us, our best player by far. He's got 76 carries, which are 21st in the NFL. He's got 390 yards rushing, which is 12th in the NFL. 3 touchdowns, which is 15th. 5.1 yards a carry. Achane has been our best player on offense by far. Best player on this team. Receiving, Waddle's got 29 catches, 390 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Tyreek, obviously, out for the year, which was devastating to this football team. 21 catches, 265 yards, and a touchdown. Devon Achane, 29 catches, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. Darren Waller, 10 catches in 3 games, only 12 targets, which is that's a crazy rate. 11.7 yards a catch for 4 touchdowns. Darren Waller needs to get the ball more. Feed Darren Waller. He's been fabulous so far for us. Get in the ball more. Screw the snap count shit. You need to get Darren Waller the football. And defense, which has been an absolute disaster. Jordan Brooks, 66 tackles. He's got a sack and a half. Dotson, he's got 29 solo tackles, 46 total, 2 sacks. He's been pretty good. Bradley Chubb leads the team in sacks with 4. But those sacks are misleading. Those aren't like game-changing sacks. These are the quarterback holding on to the ball too long, clean up sacks more than anything. Not game-changing sacks. Kenneth Grant's got a sack and a half. A sack and a half. That's crazy, right? Rasul Douglas had a really good game for us last week. He's got 21, 6 tackles, a sack. Chop Robinson's been a disappointment. He's only got 1 sack this year. I thought he had the ability to be one of the best pass rushers in all of football. Boy, was I wrong on that one. But he's not getting as many opportunities as I feel he should. He's not getting as many opportunities as I feel he should. I want Shedeur to come in and dominate us. The only true way to see any change is to feel it, is to lose in complete embarrassment fashion. Not going to lie, I was surprised Tua didn't come to the press conference with a black eye for snitching. Chubb was never a game changer. I agree with that. Only the real survive. I was never happy with the Bradley Chubb trade. I think we missed out. The trade we should have made that year was Roquan Smith, the middle linebacker from the Chicago Bears, who ended up going to Baltimore. I think that's who we should have traded for. We haven't had a great middle linebacker in Miami since Zach Thomas, and Roquan Smith was the right move to make. Not giving up a first rounder for Bradley Chubb. But that's what Chris Greer does, because Bradley Chubb had a long injury history, right? We go and we trade first round pick for Bradley Chubb. The Broncos were probably licking their chops. They're like, oh, you're going to give us a first rounder? Deal. And then we gave him a new contract too. Darren Waller is Mike Gesicki 2.0. When he is in the game, we are 100. I don't care. He is a mismatch nightmare. Get him the football. I don't care if they know we're passing when Darren Waller's in the game. Throw him the football. And this is a hot take, and I don't know if it... Shouldn't we trade Darren Waller right now? Shouldn't we trade Darren Waller if possible? Now, I know Darren Waller said he only wanted to come back and play for Frank Smith or John Gruden, but if Darren Waller has reunited his love for football and is willing to, we should trade Darren Waller immediately. You might be able to get a 3rd round pick for Darren Waller at this point. You might be able to get a 3rd round pick for Darren Waller. The way he's scoring touchdowns and looking like the Darren Waller from his Raider days. Timothy Washington says, what position should we draft in the 1st round? Quarterback, depending on who's available. Quarterback. You draft a quarterback. No one's trading for Quinn Ewers. Listen, he had an all right preseason. But come on, no one's trading for Quinn Ewers. Feed Waller, A-Chain, Washington, and Gordon. Listen, Crazy Dolphin, if you're trying to, and it's not that I don't want the Dolphins to win games, but yeah, that's who you should feed those guys. If you want to win the game, you should feed those guys. Let Ali Gordon run hard up the middle. Don't give him counters in the backfield. That's not Ali Gordon's game. Ali Gordon is hand him the ball and let him go. He can't be doing misdirections and counters and this and that and stutter stepping in the backfield. That is not his game. That's not Ollie Gordon's game. You hand him the ball and let him go. Let him burst towards that line. He reminds me. Ollie Gordon reminds me so much of what's his face. I hate when I have these brain farts. Who's the guy that we let go and he went to the Eagles with the bad knees from Boise State? Running back. Had a really big 1 year for us. I hate the freaking brain farts. Yeah, Jay Ajayi. Thank you. Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. Jay Ajayi. He reminds me of Jay Ajayi. You guys see it? You guys see it? Or am I just being delusional? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Please, please, please help the channel grow. Again, if you don't like the content, by all means, do not hit the like button. But if you like spending your time with me here, please hit that like button. Yeah, he reminds me of Jay Ajayi, just that north-south runner. Hit that hole and just go. Hit that hole and just go. And I think he could do that for us. Mike McDaniel just doesn't give him enough opportunities. And when the opportunities he is giving him, he's doing shit that's not to Ollie Gordon's benefit. Stutter steps and misdirections and counters and that's just me. But yeah, you've seen the weather. It's supposed to be 66, I guess. Heavy rain. And windy. That doesn't bode well for both these quarterbacks are undersized quarterbacks with not the strongest arms. So it doesn't bode well for the passing game. And at this point, I gotta give the Cleveland Browns the advantage with the way we're giving up rushing yards. I gotta give the Browns the advantage in how their defense is playing. Again, I said it, and it hurts me to the core. I don't know when we win our next game. And I don't know if it gets any lower than losing to the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns are an embarrassing franchise, one of the worst in all of football. And I think losing to the Browns may have the effect that most people want. I think losing to the Browns could cause someone to get fired. I think if we lose this weekend to Cleveland, it might finally get Stephen Ross to the point where he's ready to make some changes. But yeah, I'm not going to make my prediction today. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Listen, Timothy, I think the Miami Dolphins, when Shedeur Sanders started to fall in the draft, I thought it was very stupid of the Miami Dolphins not to snatch him up. Why wouldn't you snatch up Shedeur in the third, fourth round when this guy was being talked about as one of the first quarterbacks coming out the draft? Like, for a while, there was discussion about him being the number 1 overall pick. And Shedeur, to be honest, Shedeur has a similar skill set to Tua Tagovailoa if you go back and watch it. G-Man the Dolphin, the franchise is complete trash, my man. Listen, we're in a bad spot right now. We definitely are. I ain't mad for that take. But I think the Miami Dolphins were stupid for not drafting Shador. And it's not because I think Shador is a great football player, but I think, Shador has more potential than he has potential. He's got potential. Minus 27 yards and 5 offensive possessions. I did not see that, IMM. That's a bad day. That's definitely a bad day. But I've seen Myles Garrett talk about Shador, and he acts like he's a decent player. Shador is another Justin Fields minus the legs. Then what's he got? Because Justin Fields ain't got an arm. He's only got legs. So you're saying Shador don't got nothing. But yeah, that's it's gonna be tough sledding this weekend for the Miami Dolphins. It's gonna be tough sledding for the rest of the year. We know this. Again, Tua apologized. I'm more concerned about what Tua does on the field. Do his teammates forgive him? I think they should. Will they? Who knows? Who knows? But I'm ready for changes. I hope if we lose this weekend listen, I'm ready for Chris Grier to be out. Whatever it takes for Chris Grier to go, that's what I'm waiting on. Firing Mike McDaniel doesn't do it for me if Chris Grier is still here. That's not good enough for me. If they fire Mike McDaniel, that's not enough for me. That's not the changes that I'm looking for. Now, should Mike McDaniel be replaced? I'll let you decide for yourself. But as far as Chris Grier, that's the move that everybody needs to see. That's the move that everybody needs to see. Big C, changes won't happen this year. Listen, if this team gets embarrassed enough, I would hope that something happens. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all. I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like button. Please take the 1 second it takes to go hit that like button for me. Pretty, please. And I will be back tomorrow. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And fins up. No matter what, I'm a diehard Dolphins fan. I'm going to continue to root for this team. I'm going to continue to hope that this team gets it right. And I'm going to continue to support them. I'm not giving them any more of my money till they get things right, but I'm going to continue to support them. I love football. I love the Dolphins. And I hope that someday we can restore the prestige to this once proud franchise that people have let go down the drain, that were in the same conversation as the Cleveland Browns and the other bottom feeders in the NFL. But I love y'all. I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Fins up. Peace.
Yo. Big C in the house. You know the name. Fin Posse Podcast. Changing the game. Fins up high. Feel the aqua and orange. Miami heat blazing. We scorching the floor. Marino the tour. We stacking the saga. Legacy deep, call it football nirvana. Big C, break it down, got the stats in his veins. Play-by-play knowledge like he's calling the chains. Fins flying on the field, opponents feel the blast. Tyreek cheetah speed, leaving DBs in the past. Waddle with the wiggle, defense with the clamp. Aqua drip so clean, whole squad's the champ. Tune in, Big C, got the mic on lock. Fin Posse Podcast, it's the cream of the crop. Breaking news, hot takes, repping the block. For the Dolphin faithful, it's the one-stop shop. Fin Posse. We the voice of the fans. Miami stand tall, got the world in our hands. Best podcast, yo, ain't no debate. Big C, big vibes, setting it straight. The Fin smash, call it aqua tsunami. X locking routes like a South Beach Armani. O-line holding strong, trenches like a fortress. Big C dissected, no stack goes dormant.